In your science film, you might want to add some text, just to add a little bit of context to it. So maybe it's a title right at the start to add a name to the film, or maybe it's a lower third in the middle, maybe an interview to tell us who that person is and what they do. So let's have a look at how we do that in Davinci Resolve. So I've got all my stuff open here. This is all my media. And if I want to add a title in, all I need to do is go to the effects library. So up here in the top, it says effects library. I'll click that and it opens up this down here. And it's already open in the title section. If it's not, you can open that toolbox up. You've got video transitions, audio transitions, generators, but titles is the one that we want. So it's got some titles that are very are used a lot up there, but there are so many more. There are loads in DaVinci Resolve. So we're going to keep it basic because you can run away with these quite quickly. So maybe we want something that just shows over the top of some footage we already have. So if I come up to my media, maybe I want some like drone footage or some landscape footage to show with a title over the top of it. So maybe it's something in here. If I double click on this one, I can see that, there we go, that looks pretty good. I'll press I for in, O for out, and that gives an establishing shot. It shows that we're on a glacier. Drag this down into my timeline onto video 1. Then to add the text over the top, maybe I just want to add this that shows up like this and just shows up with as a title. So a basic title there. If I double click on it, then it'll bring up the inspector over on this side. So if you need the inspector at any point, you just click on that and it pops up. And then I can change anything about this title. I can add in, this is called Science in the Alps. I can change the font. Maybe I want it to be Nouveau Grotesque. There we go. Like small caps is fine. If I want to change the color, that's there too. You can change the size here. You can change the tracking and all different kinds of things, all in the inspector. That's great. That's all I want for this one. Is I want to show Science in the Alps. If you want something that moves, you can use these ones as well. There's loads in DaVinci Resolve. For lower thirds, just something that shows who a person is while they're talking, just a different style of text. If I come over to this A roll and grab my interview and drag that in just down to the bottom there, again onto video 1, we're going to show our titles on track 2 because we want to show over the top of the footage that's underneath. So for this, she's going to be talking for a little bit and then the lower third will pop up. So they've already got the one that I want in these ones. So I want right lower third, which is there. So I'm going to drag that onto our timeline. And then I wanted it there because there's some rocks just here that I think will look good if the title is over the top of. So I'll double click it again, scroll to the top and change the title to, this is Tamara. And then she is a climber / scientist. There we go. This text is maybe a little bit big, so let's change the size. Oh, in fact, let's change the size of that so it's the same size. That's perfect, actually. Cool. So you can do that in there. If you want to change, if this was up in the clouds, I changed the color so that it was dark, which makes it a little bit easier to see. So if I wanted to move this around now, I can actually just grab it and move it. It will stick to these like safe lines that pop up as I move it around. So you can see them just popping up there. They're what we call safe lines to make sure nothing's outside those that might get lost in the when you render it out, when you use it. So I'm going to move these around slightly, just move this down to be on the top of that safe line and move Tamara down too. So there we go. Excellent. So it says Tamara, climber / scientist, and that'll pop up as I hit go. There we go. And it fades in, or pops in, and then pops out again later on, which is absolutely fine. So you don't need to go massively overboard when it comes to the text. Like I said, within the Fusion titles, there are loads of new different animations for them to come in. Maybe you want them to fade in, fade out. Maybe you want to slide in and slide out. There are loads for you to do in there, but try and be reserved at any one point with your titles and with your lower thirds. Like I said, they can get away from you really easy. So keep them nice and simple. And just add them in there for context to add a little bit more to your science film.